My nighttime talks with Jesus have gotten into a strange view of life from the point of view from Florida. And I apologize for anyone who doesn't understand the dynamic here, because I surely don't understand the dynamic here. But God knows, that God sees everything that's going on. He seems to have a plan, and I don't know what it is. So, for those of you just joining, I'm going to put an address where you can send information if you have any to assist with what needs to be done here. Maybe I'm just going about this all wrong, and maybe there's a way out of the situations that I've been experiencing for 20-something years here. And it might just be moving, out of here back into my home state, New York, or even California, or somewhere else, anywhere but here, really. That might be the only option, because for a citizen to come from New York, where was the melting pot, and then to come into this, where it's like the pot that's boiling over all the time, and it's just not fair. It's like putting a lid on someone who doesn't like to get burned, So, yeah. Anyway, the thing is, when you're a strong person for the Lord, you can't be timid. You have to be the person you are, that God's called you to be. And that's what I feel like God has trained me up to do over the past 20-something years. He's molded me and guided me in a lot more understanding of the world around me and things that are going on around me. Praise the Lord. But kind of like the movie Evan Almighty and Bruce Almighty, that one part in the video where it shows Bruce Almighty trying to answer all God's prayers, and they just kept coming in and coming in and coming in, and he was like hitting yes to all of them, and then chaos broke out in the city. It's kind of like, it feels like that, like everything's just so backwards, and there's no real way to get it straight here, unless I give it to God, and that's what I plan on doing, just leaving it all in His hands, and just finding another route for my life, because I like peace and tranquility, but I also like to have places to go and things to do without harassing, menacing problems everywhere I go. And I don't believe that will happen all the time. I just think it's just the culture has switched to, I know, the governor of Florida says, oh, this will not be a woke culture here in Florida. We are not having it, or whatever. I don't even know what he says about it, but I'm not quoting him. But it's definitely giving sleeping vibes. If you're not woke, you're asleep, right? But I guess he means something else when he says woke. I don't know. But the thing is that you're proclaiming over the state some cultural thing that you don't even understand. So it's not even a cultural thing. It's more of a spiritual thing. And seriously, if there was a way to educate him on the spiritual matters that are really at hand, I would do that. But in the meantime, I'm not running for governor, so you can't vote for me unless, of course, you put my name on the ballot. But what I'm saying is there's plenty of things going on here that need to be fixed. I mean, we have people saying, oh, you need to fix, the waterways and the expansion of houses and the building of homes and this and that and the other. Okay, we can do all that, but we could also put it all in God's hands and let Him do it too, lead and guide us to what we need to do. So there's different ways to look at this, and if you can't get all the leaders on the same page and all the leaders are fighting up against each other and being greedy, money hungry, and teaching everybody bad habits, there's really no strength in any of the numbers here. You know, yeah, some of them have money and some of them can get funded, and some of them do have places that they can get assistance if they need it to run for these officers and do all these things. But when you actually get in there, you need laborers. And the laborers are few. So, you know, you don't want to be up on Capitol Hill or wherever they are doing this stuff, doing everything yourself with no team. So, like, it needs to be a teamwork type effort, and it needs to be something that's like phenomenally done, superior above everything else. And if you don't have the mentality to do that, and you don't know how to do it, or get people to join together in a group and get things done, you know, it's going to be difficult. So, you know, there has to be a way to gather all of the information from all of the people who have reported, you know, what needs to change in the state of Florida, and just put it all into a database that narrows it down into like 12 to 15 different categories and just says, you know, let's work on them one at a time and just develop groups to work on each category and then do subcategories and just get it done. You know, start a new trend. Become super woke. My new term. I expect t-shirts. Anyway, I'm going to leave the address that you can send me information, brand deals, or whatever. I do not take emails at all. I know some of you had wanted to do some kind of a picture with me or painting, oil painting. I see a few other creators had it done, but I do not agree to anything like that without seeing the paperwork, and you'd have to send it to me directly. And also, certified mail is best because the mailman here is from Polk County, so God bless him. Yeah. So we don't always get all of our mail. So, yeah. And yeah, we could get a P.O. box, but there's still mailmen and women from Polk County. So I'm not saying they're all bad because they're really not, but the system is broke. So, yeah, when you need to fix so many things, only God can do it. And Nighttime Talks with Jesus is just about me speaking up for what needs to be fixed and giving God the okay to use my prayers and my words for change. In Jesus' mighty name. And sometimes you have to pray and you have to expect changes in the good, positive way that Jesus brings it to us. So, like I said, I'll put the address and I will put, well, you can always put a comment and then I can get in touch with you. If you give me your address, I can get in touch with you. But other than that, I'm not going to be doing any messaging on my phone. It's just too much because there's so many people and I can't keep track of everything. And I don't want to overlook anybody or make anybody feel like I'm ignoring them. But I just cannot do it. So if you have to send me anything, please send it through certified mail. And you can also look me up on Facebook, and that's another avenue that I use often, but not as often as TikTok. So God bless you, and Nighttime Talks with Jesus. I feel like it was a success because I feel better, so hopefully I'll get some responses from you guys and prayers for goodness and mercy and grace to follow me all the days of my life, because God has a plan, and I surely don't know what it is till He shows me piece by piece like a puzzle. God bless you.